Thank you, Stefan. We are following breaking news this morning from the city's northwest end, where a 14-year-old girl shot in the head in her own apartment. This happened around 3 o'clock in a unit on Stong Court, which is near Jane. Right now, a large police presence. The hunt continues for 4 suspects seen running from the building. Police are looking into if or how the victim knew the suspects. It's also not clear if there were any adults home at the time of this shooting. Police are anxious to see any surveillance footage that might be within this area.
Just before 3 a.m. today, a 14-year-old female was shot in the head while inside her apartment here at 25 Stong Court. Her condition at this time is unknown. Right now, there are 4 male suspects that are outstanding that fled from this apartment after the shooting. They traveled north from this apartment.
We're going to bring you back to a live look at the scene right now. We will be here all morning long. Police now canvassing the area. The young victim was taken by emergency run to hospital, which you saw in those visuals there, with very serious injuries. Right now, we do not have an update on her condition, but we will continue to follow this story here through the morning. We are expected to learn more about the province's reopening plan today, including which color zones some regions will fall into next week. Ontario's top doctors saying the decisions will be made based on local case rates. Most areas will be moving into the province's reopening plan on Tuesday, with the exception of hotspots Toronto, Peel and York remaining under stay-at-home orders until the 22nd. While those areas are expected to enter the gray lockdown zone, and this is what it means here, York region is calling on the province to be moved to the less restrictive red zone. And this comes as health experts warn we could face a third wave if stay-at-home orders are lifted, adding that variants are expected to be the dominant strains by month's end. Many students across the province are waking up a little disappointed today. March break is postponed until the week of April the 12th.
Postponing March break, not canceling it, is an important way that schools can help to limit community transmission. We recognize that congregation is a key driver of the spread of COVID-19, something we realized over the winter break, and we will not take that risk again with your child, with our staff, with Ontario families.
The education minister says the decision was based on advice from public health officials, and this comes as students in Toronto, Peel and York return to classrooms on Tuesday. And new for returning Toronto students, all family members in the home will now have to complete a daily COVID screening form. And if a family member has any symptoms, that student will have to stay at home. But experts are still concerned about the plan to test.
There's a lot of things that we've talked about for schools for months that you think should be happening but haven't been happening.
So this comes as the Peel District School Board confirms a positive case of variant. A statement from Peel Public Health says the infection was acquired in the community and has not spread inside the school. Anyone exposed to this individual has not become sick to date, and it is now over 14 days since that last exposure. Now, coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to be hearing from a teacher and a member of the Ontario Parent Action Network about how he feels about all of these changes and looking ahead to next week. Toronto has confirmed its first case of the COVID-19 variant connected to a city long-term care home. The worker, who does not have direct contact with residents, last worked at Castleview Winchwood Towers on February the 2nd. Anyone who had contact with this employee has been tested. 95% of residents have their first COVID-19 vaccine. 90% have received their second dose. Well, today marks the start of the Lunar New Year. And while celebrations may be much quieter across the GTA because of lockdown restrictions, that is not the case everywhere else in the world. All right, hundreds gathering here to watch fireworks in Taiwan's capital city, one of the countries known for keeping the pandemic under control. Across China, performers, you can see here, some dancing on the streets, lanterns lighting up cities across the country. In Sydney, Australia, normally 1.5 million tourists visit their Chinatown to celebrate. This year, it's a lot more subdued. So what impact is COVID having on celebrations here at home? We're going to be discussing this with a panel coming up at 7:20 this morning. And coming up next in business, Air Canada getting the green light from Ottawa to buy Air Transat. We're going to break it all down with Mike Apple. He's after the break.